Good afternoon, friends, followers and channel members. Wow, never have I seen the Scottish weather so accurately represented in Microsoft Flight Simulator. What is this? It's grey and raining and horrible in Glasgow, but that's just the start of it. That's the departure airport. The weather in Jersey, where we're heading today, well, that's not much better either. I think it's clearer, but it's rather windy. So it's going to be a fun afternoon's flight. So looking forward to this. Flight time's around 1 hour and 15 minutes. This is a real world flight as well. Always nice to do real world flights, of course, as we go from Glasgow down to Jersey. The operational flight plan has been pinned already for those of you watching on YouTube. So good afternoon to everyone who's already got themselves on board. Hey Danny, Mark, good to see you. Finish Sim Pilot, Dr. Magic and Nick as well. I hope you are doing well this fine Wednesday afternoon. If you're not in Scotland, you may have got some sunshine. And hello to everyone else in the chat as well. Thank you so much for coming on board. Hopefully we can give you a couple of hours entertainment and keep you occupied whilst you're going about your business, sat down, chilling, or pretending to work, as that's what we do here on this channel. Pretend to work and enjoy the world of Flight Simulator. It had just started to rain as well a moment ago. And check this out. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this, but I will try and show you this. So yeah, look at this. We've actually got raindrops on the terminal windows. Isn't that insane? I don't know why. I just thought that's really neat. I never even thought about the glass in the terminal buildings. We obviously know we have it in the cockpit, the flight deck windshield and that. But isn't that just nice? It's another level of realism. You keep discovering new things every flight about this sim. It's beautiful. Anyway, let's go ahead and get on board, shall we? Just disclaimer before we start, I am expecting First Officer George to go nuts at some point during the flight, as I've got a delivery. So it may happen whilst we are on stream. It may not. I guess we'll find out. So let's jump on board. So here we are set up. Yeah, there you go. I think this is probably my most favourite parking position at Glasgow Airport, British Glasgow Airport. It's fantastic scenery, and looking very authentic today with grey skies. But yeah, just the details that they've got in there. I tell you what, I didn't show you. Hang on, let me head back. I don't know how accurate this is, but we were actually parked at a British Airways gate. I think that's lovely. Yeah, not sure where the EasyJet gates are. I'll have to have a look. I mean, I can't remember if I've shown you this before, but the detail that they've got into this is absolutely insane. Look, I mean, this is genius. Oh, hang on, is that EasyJet? Oh no, that's Jet 2. No, we don't want them. Come on, where's the EasyJet stands? No, that's Jet 2 as well. Or do we get a remote stand because, well, we're low cost carriers? Duty free, WH Smiths. Are we around here? Oh, gates 1 and 2. Do you know, I can't believe that. I've never done this. I could actually go through a virtual walk through the airport. The scenery is that good here. I promise I will get back to our aircraft in a minute. Hang on. And yeah, not if you see one of those at Glasgow. This is insane. Come on. Where's the gate for EasyJet? And then we're going to park there all the time. Another WH Smiths. Yeah, that's probably accurate. I don't know of any other airport that I can do this with. This is incredible. We've flown from Glasgow several times before, but I've never done this. So is this the EasyJet's gate? I mean, these are orange. Doesn't say EasyJet on them. Well, either way, isn't that incredible? Oh, look, there's our aircraft. Well, do you know what? I'm going to take a shortcut. I'm not walking all the way back. Oh, police are on the way to catch someone. Right, let's get back on board then, shall we? Now, my McDo server isn't working, so let me just go ahead and try and give that a bit of a jump start. Is that under sim options? Oh yeah, I have to sort of turn that off, turn it to auto, turn it off, turn it back to auto again. I'm now going to restart. There we go, it's now successfully connected. It's strange that. Mark, this is Purgy's scenery for, I think that's right, Purgy's Glasgow airport. It's insane, isn't it? I mean, the amount of detail there. Absolutely incredible. I have got the school run again today, so I need to be out of here by about 15:15 local time. So what's that? That's 14:15 Zulu time. Really hate it when we here in the UK move off Zulu time. It's just very convenient when we're on Zulu time. I don't have to think. Bluebit and the police are on the way to get my dad. He's just had his James Bond Aston. He stole James Bond's Aston Martin. Oh, fair enough. And Green93 says the EasyJet is with the Jet 2. I was looking for a big EasyJet sign, and I just saw the cabin size luggage thing. Oh well. Wally Husk, good morning to you. Anyway, should we get started? Right. Fuel first of all. Fuel. This is not a plug fuel day, is it? There's our live meta. Let's just go ahead and get that APU up and running. 1, 2, 3. There we are. Oh, right, so where's our flight plan? Here's our flight plan. So, cruising today, available 390. Shouldn't be too much in the way of turbulence as we head down there. Shear rate's looking okay. Tailwind of 10. Zero fuel weight is 59.2. It's not a heavy payload, so we're okay. Right, plug fuel is just under 5 tons. Yeah, okay, we're not going to be taking 5 tons today, not with the weather that we've got on board. Scroll down. Yeah, so have a look at this. So the weather here in Glasgow, yeah, that would seem about right. The weather at Jersey, ceiling is 800 feet. Visibility is about 7 kilometers. And we have just got weather good enough at at Gatwick for it to be our alternate today, if we have a problem getting in at Jersey. Hope not, otherwise I'm going to be late for the school run. But even so, yeah, that's everything we've got there. Crosswind of 11.6 knots, the crosswind component. Now let's quickly jump ahead and have a look at the TAF. So yeah, forget Gatwick for the moment, but Jersey, so up until around 10 o'clock tonight local time, winds 23018. Visibility is okay though, and broken. We've just got some temporary light rain, and that ceiling down to 800. Now bear in mind, of course, Jersey is only Cat 1. It's only an ILS Cat 1. We can't do any auto land or anything like that. So yeah, it's going to be fun. As I said, not a plug fuel day. Let's then just have a look. Check the weather coming down here. So a little bit of light turbulence, basically all throughout. Well, it says light turbulence throughout this entire sector, doesn't it? Shear rate was okay, but I don't know. We'll see if we have a little bit of a bumpy ride. What's it going up to? Oh, it's only up to 2.9. So yeah, we'll be above that. Right, so guys, what fuel do we think? What fuel do we think today? We've got 5 ton on there. I'm throwing another ton on. Yeah, I'm throwing another ton on, and we've got enough then for the alternate to get back to Gatwick or somewhere sensible. So 6 tons of fuel, please. The new flypad is available in the experimental version for anyone that wants to go and grab that. What did I say? 6 tons. There we are. Right, so refueling is underway. APU is up and running. Get the APU bleed on. Right, let me just go ahead and check a few things. So everything on the overhead as it should be. Cockpit lights are good. We're on a transit stop, of course. Hit the recall. We'll just check the all the pressures. The cabin pressure page is all set. That's fine. Hydraulic fuel is all in the green tanks, or in the little green brackets just there. So reservoirs are good. Parking brake is set. Acupressure is in the green, and I think we're about ready to go. Oh, let me just put this to 2000. There we go, and we're on Unicom. Right, everything's all set. I'll just turn the constraints on up here as well. Whilst I remember, our initial climb out today I think is going to be 6,000, so we'll set that as well. Right, let's go ahead then and get the weather here in Glasgow. So currently we've got light rain, winds 22018, so we're going to feel that. Nice headwind as we're departing. Light rain, visibility 9,000, QNH is 984 hectopascals. Now that is quite low. So 984 hectopascals. I have got a sneaky suspicion, because of all these slashes that you can see here in the meta, I think our performance calculator SimSmart may have a little bit of a throw his dummies out the pram with this. So we shall we'll see what happens. That'll be a good test for it. We'll have to enter that meta manually, but that's okay. That's actually a little bit more realistic. The APU bleed has been on for a good minute. Let's get the packs on, and then we can start telling our passengers to get on board. Drew, question for the collective. SimSmart pretty much gives me V1, VR, V2 as the same speed every time you've used it. Is that normal? Drew, you must be taking off at airports with very long runways. Yeah, check out the release video if you haven't done so already. Also on the FAQs page, there's a bit of a description as to why that happens on long runways. The idea is you want to use a balanced field for your departure, which means that you want to be able to accelerate up to your rotate speed as slowly as possible, less wear and tear on the engines, but you also still want to have enough runway in front of you to be able to stop. That's V1, that's the speed that happens. If you've got a huge long runway, then you can accelerate nice and slowly up to your rotate speed and still have enough runway in front of you, if it's a nice long runway, for V1 and your rotate speed to be the exact same. So yeah, that is normal at airports with long runways. We wouldn't get that at departing Jersey or Isle of Man yesterday, if anyone was there for that. What was I doing? Oh yes, passengers. Okay, so let's tell the cabin crew we're going to be good to go in a sec. That's it. So passengers are boarding. Let's go ahead and set up the box. So let's check the data page. We've got IRS, we've got 3nav green, aircraft status, sleep engines, and the correct ARAC cycle is in the database. ACARS init request. So the alternate then is, let's bring this in so you guys can follow along. There we are. FV, how come your flight plans never have trip wind listed? Well, I use the EasyJet operational flight plan layout, so your trip wind is shown just there. So alternate is, as I said a moment ago, we've got let me just clear the scratch pad. There we go. Echo Golf Kilo Kilo. I love this call sign. Easy 71 Victor Lima. That one's alright. Don't mind that one. Flywheel 390 and the temperature is minus 48. Tropo is, that's quite low, isn't it? 28269. It's not a bad thing though. It means we can get above the weather. Right, onto the flight plan. So we're going to be departing runway 23 on the Norbo 1 Hotel. There it is. And insert. And just check for discontinuities. Nope, that's all good. Right, and the arrival then is ILS 26 on the Big No 1 Juliet. Now, several vias there. What I'm going to do actually is, yeah, we'll pop Jersey in there, but we may just tweak this a little bit. Otherwise, that's a very, very short final that we're going to have. And I'll explain a little bit more about that later on. So, distance of 451. What have we got? We've got 452 there. So we must have programmed that all correctly. I'm now just going to go through and check that the SID looks correct. So we have got no turns below 530. That's nice. No turns below 530. And then we've got 226 Lima, which is there. We've got 226 November, which is here, and then we have Norbo. So yeah, that's all coded nice and correct. Let's just have a quick look up here at the navigation display if we scroll through and just see how that arrival's looking. So I say I'm going to probably tweak the arrival ever so slightly. Yeah, there's the arrival that we've got there, but instead of doing this, we're probably going to come down here and then intercept from the north rather than going all the way around and flying a full circle. But other than that, that's great. We can sort that out en route. Okay, happy with that. Let's pop the Glasgow VOR into the RadNav page. There we go. The engine out procedure here also calls for us to hold at the Glasgow VOR should something go bang after V1, so I'm going to pop that into the fixes page. And the inbound track for the hold at the Glasgow VOR is 229. The reciprocal of that then is 049. We'll get that radial in there. Done. Okay, good. Right, on to the init B page. So let's see, what's our zero fuel weight? Where's my flight plan gone? There it is. Zero fuel weight is 59.2, and we'll just pop that in as a standard 30%. Oh, that's updated to 25. That's interesting. Unless that's now what the aircraft's actually calculated it as the passenger payload has been loaded on. We've got a tailwind of 10, and we have got fuel planning says 4.7. What have we got? We've got 6 tons, haven't we? Yeah, 6 tons. That's all finished loading as well. So pop that in. Takeoff weight then 65.3. And fuel for the alternate, let's call that 1.3 tons. Which gives us an extra 37 minutes of flight time, which given the weather today, I'm happy with. Right, all that's done. Let's move over to the performance page. Now this is going to be interesting because for those of you who have already got SimSmart, the performance calculator, which is now available to go ahead, link in the video description, go ahead and grab that. You will know that there is currently a bug using wet runway config 1. So we're not going to use config 1 today. We could use Toga, we could use config 2, we could use config 3. So I'm thinking config 2. Now let's just see what happens with that METAR, because there was a lot of forward slashes in that METAR, which isn't right. So we're departing runway 23, grab the METAR. Ah, look at that. There's a problem with automatic METAR. Please enter data manually. No problem. I just need to know what it was. Let me see. So, yeah, this is more realistic doing this. The real world performance calculator that Airbus have, FlySmart, you have to enter it manually anyway. So what's the wind? Wind is 220 at 18. The outside air temperature is 8. And we've got a QNH, this is low, 984. There is a storm coming off, off to the west of Scotland at the moment. Runway condition is indeed wet. It's not contaminated, it's not that bad. Anti-ice will be on. Our takeoff weight was 65.3. Let's be conservative, 65.5. There we go. And our takeoff CFG at the moment in the fly-by-wire is always forward, unless you manually go in and edit it. Takeoff thrust, we're not going to use. We are going to use flex, but we're going to go config 2. So let's air condition will be off and calculate. Oh, nice low flex as well. Maximum takeoff weight is fine. So let's go ahead and pop in those speeds. So V1 is 130. Yeah, so just answering the question about the balance field we had earlier. So the V speeds, as you can see here, are not the same with regards to V1 and VR. So basically, by the time we reach 130 knots, we would start to run out of runway if we decided to stop after that. But that is not yet our takeoff speed. Our takeoff speed is 138. If you had a nice long runway, we could probably continue up to 138 before we would start to run out of runway if we needed to stop. So when you've got the longer runway, V1, VR, V2, they're all quite close together. We've got VR is 138, V2 is 139. There we go. And we have got the engine out here is 1018, that's been rounded up 1020, engine out, thrust reduction, acceleration, that's all good. Flaps 2, I need to make a mental note that it's flaps 2, because we always do flaps 1, I always forget when we're going to do flaps 2, and the flex is 57. Okay, all that is done. Right, so let's do a brief. Our weather here in Glasgow, yeah, it's Scottish weather here in Glasgow, but if we don't have a problem with the aircraft, we can get back in. It's a nice Cat 3 capable airfield, so yeah, getting back in here wouldn't be a problem. We can use, as long as we're not downgraded, although to be honest, I think runway visual range is actually still above 550 meters, so we could even get in Cat 1. So yeah, not nice, bit grey, but if something went bang, we can get back in without too much trouble. The aircraft is the experimental version of the A320 fly-by-wire. No attempts to be aware of, threats to be aware of. Let's just have a look. Minimum safe altitude on our departure, I think, is 3,000 feet. Yeah, we just stay in this little sector here. 3,000, as shown just there. And as we go out. 6,000 feet is our limit, we've got that set as well. Other threats to be aware of, I'm not too familiar with the airport, should be a nice straightforward taxi though, we'll brief that in a second. We're going to use full length for the departure today. Threat for me, the fact we're doing flaps 2, not flaps 1, need to remember to set that, of course, because we're so used to doing flaps 1. Other than that, I think we're good. Right, let's just brief what we're doing. So we are parked at the domestic pier, stand 20. We're going to push back from stand 20 facing east. We're going to taxi then out on Golf to the end there, left on Alpha, and then follow all the way down. And we'll hold at Alpha 1. If low vis was in place, I would hold at Alpha 2. And then the departure is straightforward, no speed restrictions. Autopilot can take care of that quite nicely. Good. Okay, I think that's about everything with regards to setting up for the departure. I think all passengers have just boarded, so good to see. There go the stairs. Emitting Warsaw, never have subscription. You can either play annually or you can play monthly. I can't recall what it is off the top of my head, I'm afraid. Refueling's completed as well now.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on board our EasyJet service. Please place your large bags into the overhead locker, wheels first, and keep your small items under the seat in front of you. These include laptops, handbags, duty-free and loose items of clothing. Once you have safely stowed your cabin bag, please take your seat. To help us ensure a prompt departure, we would kindly ask that you keep the aisle clear, enabling all remaining customers to board. Your seatbelt can now be fastened ready for departure. This is a no-smoking service. Thank you for observing this policy.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, so let's run the before start checklist. Cockpit preparation is complete. Our signs are on and auto. Ideas, we've got 3 down green, that fuel quantity 6 tons and balanced. FMGS is set. Altimeter is 984 hectopascals, 30 feet. Just check in ATC. We don't have any. Right, let's call our pushback mod. We'll pre-plan this. So, a straight taxi back, and then a turn onto Golf. There we go.
Cockpit to ground. This is ground. Stand by.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck this morning, let me welcome you on board this EasyJet aircraft as you settle in for what we hope is going to be a most enjoyable flight. The weather today doesn't look to be posing much of a problem, so we should have a nice smooth ride for you throughout the duration of the flight. And as the cabin crew continue making their last preparations, if you could please assist them by getting yourselves sat down, your seatbelts fastened, and make yourselves nice and comfortable. The ground crew have now finished loading the aircraft. We're just
Okay, sir. The bypass switch is installed. All doors and hatches closed, and all ground equipment
If
is
you could please give the cabin crew
We are cleared for start and push.
as they go through the safety briefing.
Okay,
we'd
cleared for
greatly
push start.
appreciate it.
Please release
So on behalf
parking
of
brake.
myself and the first officer, we'd like to say thank you for choosing EasyJet today, and we look forward to give you a safe flight.
Please release parking brake.
Okay, we'll just make a call on Unicom. I forgot to say as well, although we did briefly touch upon it, standard Airbus emergency brief. Engine out procedure here is standard, and if something did go bang, we'll get that engine secured, and then once we're above 1600 feet, it's a left turn to the Glasgow VOR. Enter the hold, right turns, inbound track is 229. No ATC around.
Shuttle 6 Romeo, established 23, 10 miles.
Stand 2-3, that's okay. Glasgow traffic, easy 7-1 Victor, Lima pushing back on from stand 20, stand 20 onto Golf facing east.
Please release parking brake.
Right, so that's our clearance announced, self-announced. Beacon lights on,
Please release parking brake.
nose wheel steering is disconnected, acupressures in the green, transponder to auto, and let's release the parking brake.
Parking brakes are released. Commencing pushback. You can start the engines in sequence. It will start in the sequence.
Niels Eric, hello, Spiff Jam and Starship, hello to you guys as well. Right, paranoia check, overhead APU bleed is on, engine mode selected to ignition, and starting engine 1. And Niels Eriksson, welcome to the First Officers Club, Neil. Thank you so much for your support. If you're on our Discord as well, make sure you get yourself into the members lounge. I'm afraid I can't give you better weather today, Niels. This looks awful, doesn't it? You'd be forgiven for going toga in this weather. We may still make that call yet.
Ladies and gentlemen, we now ask for your attention while we take you through the safety procedures on this aircraft. A safety card is in your seat pocket showing the exit routes, oxygen masks, life jackets and brace position that you must adopt if you hear brace, brace. There are 2 emergency exits at the rear, 4 in the middle, and 2 at the front of the cabin. Floor lighting will guide you to an exit. Please be aware that your nearest exit may be behind you. In an emergency, leave all cabin baggage on board. Your seatbelt is fastened, adjusted, and released as shown. It must be fastened when the seatbelt signs are on, and we recommend that you keep it fastened at all times. If the air supply fails, masks will drop from above you. Pull a mask towards you to start the oxygen.
Pushback completed.
Put the
Please set
mask
parking
over your
brake.
nose and mouth.
Parking
Hold in
brake
place
set.
with the strap. Pull on each
Startup
side
is
to
complete.
adjust.
You may disconnect.
Put on your own
Roger.
mask
Good
before
engine
helping
start.
others.
Clear to disconnect. See you
If we land on water, take the life jacket from under your
Holding
seat.
position, waiting for
Put
the
it
visual.
over your
Thank
head.
you and goodbye.
Pass the tapes around your waist. Click together
Starting engine 2.
and pull the strap to adjust. Do not inflate it inside the aircraft. When outside, inflate by pulling the toggle. If it fails to inflate or needs topping up, blow into the tube. There is a light and whistle for attracting attention. We also carry flotation aids for children. Your tray table must now be stowed, armrest down, window blinds open, and seatbelt fastened. We wish you a pleasant flight with EasyJet.
Right, I've made the call that we are going to do toga now, so it's flaps to toga. I've amended the V speeds, so we've now got 123, 131, 137. And as you can see, we've cleared out the flex, so that's now showing toga just here. Ace Airstream, we may be flying over you, but there's no gaps in the clouds. That doesn't fill us with confidence. No nice views for us today, then. Just waiting for engine 2 to spool up. One of my favourite airport sceneries, this one. Really is. Right, engine number 2 is stable. Let's start that timer. So engine mode selector to normal. APU bleed off. Anti-ice will be on. APU master will come off. And then we're going to go spoilers, rudder, flaps 2. So I always forget. I will set the takeoff trim, which today is 25.2. After start checklist, anti-ice is on, ecom status is checked, pitch trim is 25.2, rudder is 0, flight controls check, full left, full right, neutral, full up, full down, neutral, rudder, full right, full left, and neutral. PV981, yeah, just because it's wet, and the rain really did come pelting down a little bit ago, so I'm going with a wet takeoff and
Charles 6 Romeo, clear of 2.
toga. Glasgow traffic, EZ71 Victor Lima, taxiing now via Golf Alpha to hold point Alpha 1, runway 23. And this is the experimental version, Geordie. Hey Barry, good to see you, mate. So straight down here, and then we can basically follow this taxiway all the way down. Okay, so performance check. QNH 984, we're now doing a toga takeoff. That's confirmed. We've rerun those numbers as well, so that's done. Why didn't the cabin clear just then? There we go. Engine out procedure is standard. 1600 feet left turn to the Glasgow VOR. Enter the hold there. Right hand turns. Departure is the Noble 1 Hotel, and our stop climb altitude is 6,000 feet. Looks like it's stopped raining now as well, doesn't it? Typical. In fact, I can even see some sun shining through on the pedestal. Isgal Walker, thank you for subscribing. Jensen UK, if you look at the lower ECAM when you've landed, the flight control page should show that your spoilers are up. Look at that, it's sunshine now. Okay, before takeoff checklist, flight controls are checked. Departure briefing is confirmed. Flat setting config 2. FMA takeoff data 123 blue, 137 magenta, climb nav blue, 1FD2, 6000 blue, toga. Transponder is set. ECAM memo takeoff no blue, EFB stowed. So what I could do now is roll the performance back and we could do flex, but runway's still going to be wet. We may as well just stick with what we have.
Cabin crew, seats for takeoff, please.
Mix the Glasgow scenery. Here is the Pyrrhus. It's amazing. No, time very well, thank you. Wally, yeah, I just moved the scenery in and out that I want. I basically have the 10 mods that you've seen in a video previously that I've put on the channel, same the 10 mods that I always keep in the community folder, and then I just add in an airport and for my departure and arrival. That's if scenery for them exists, of course. So yeah, not too much in the community folder. Although, look at the trees now coming in a little bit green thanks to the AccuSeasons mod from Rex. So there's the Cat 2-3 holding points. Not going to be in use today. And we've turned off the EFB as well, just to save those frame rates and stop the jitters. Here we go, there's holding point Alpha 1. Okay, I've not heard anything else on frequency or seen any other messages, so... Glasgow traffic, Easy 71 Victor Lima, lining up runway 23, departing on the Noble 1 Hotel. Don't forget the TCAS. And the packs, of course. Rav, the scenery is the Pyrrhus scenery. I think there's only one for Glasgow, so you'll easily be able to find that. Before takeoff checklist below the line, cabin is secured, engine mode selector is normal, TCAS TARA, packs are off, anti-ice is on. Will Corey, why is what Cat 1, 2 and 3? I may have to come back and give you a bit more detailed answer once we're airborne, whilst we concentrate on this. Oh, it's starting to rain again anyway now. How very Glaswegian. Okay, nice straightforward departure as well this. So, we're ready to go. And take off, start the chrono. Set 50% N1. And let's take off into the rain. Engine stable, set takeoff thrust. Mantoga, SRS runway. Love seeing that rain washing back on the windshield. It's amazing.
100 knots.
Checked. V1. Rotate. A glorious takeoff. Nav.
Positive rate, 10.
Very quickly have a look at that, and then in a moment we'll have a thrust climb. There we go. Thrust climb. Climb. We've got nav TCAS on standby, have we? We'll have to check that in a minute. Flaps 1. That's strange. That's not anything that's going to cause us any undue harm, so let's just concentrate on flying the aircraft. Autopilot 1 is now engaged. No ATC, let's continue our climb. We're going to pop that into open climb as well. So thrust climb, open climb, 2000 blue. Let's clear that master caution. And then we'll have a look at the nav TCAS and see why we've not got that showing. No, we've got that set to TARA. Oh, why is that not on? That should always be on. There we go. Sorted that out. Yeah, the squawk wasn't in standby. The transponder was actually turned off. Don't recall turning that off, unless there's a new keybind that I've not come across. Anyway. Clouds look good today, don't they? Look at that. Oh, cumulus congest that we're probably going to fly straight through in a minute.
Ladies and gentlemen, please keep your seatbelt fastened while the seatbelt sign is on. We recommend that you keep your seatbelt fastened whenever you are seated. Toilets are located at each end of the cabin. Remember that smoking is not permitted at any time. This includes e-cigarettes.
May just pull heading in a moment. I don't particularly want to fly through that. We'll just see how... This is where weather radar will come in really handy. You could see where that that plume would be in comparison to your track. Right, we're now past 10,000 feet. Let's get the lights off. Yeah, that could be rather bumpy. And we shall clear the radnav out as well as we go, so we can get rid of the Glasgow VOR from down here, and also the fixes page. Let's get rid of Glasgow in there too. There we go. Oh wow, look at the rain falling down there. That is just an amazing sight, isn't it? Slight immersion killer when some clouds pop in and out. Never used to happen that, so I'm not quite sure when they're going to fix that. Maybe the next sim update. When's that? I can't remember. Right, flight level 390 is available to us, so we're going to go ahead and set our cruising altitude for today. Flight level 390, there it is. Just get through this turn, make sure we've got no more turbulence. We're now skirting across the top of these clouds. I'm quite happy to turn off those seatbelt signs. And with that, also the anti-ice can come off too.
Ladies and gentlemen, the seatbelt sign has now been turned on. You are now free to move around the cabin and the toilets are now available. However, when in your seat, we recommend that you keep your seatbelt fastened at all times in case of unexpected turbulence. Please contact a member of the cabin crew if you require assistance. Thank you.
Oh, we've got a nice little double rainbow as well. Isn't it amazing the sun shines when we leave Glasgow? Lorenzo, I have a GTX 1660. Felix, good night, mate. Past your bedtime. Speak to you soon. So Barry asks, during the cruise, could I maybe dig a bit deeper into the weather at the arrival and why and when you would decide to deviate based on the winds? Okay, well, I wouldn't decide to deviate based on the winds per se. it would all depend, because I would absolutely try and get in at least once, maybe even a second time, but once you've had 2 goes, then that's it. If you can't get in, then you're off to the alternate. So I'd only deviate if we couldn't get in, but we'd have a good go first. Aviator, what motherboard do I have? That is a very good question. I want to say, ironically, I think it's something like, isn't it an A320? I honestly can't remember. I am not a tech guy. I am absolutely not a tech guy. Matt Plays thoughts on the new condo livery. Unique. It's probably the best way to describe it. Standing out from the crowd. That's for sure. Wow, it really is just clouds as far as we can see here, isn't it? Barry, would you be allowed to even try with a 30 knot crosswind? Now it's not a 30 knot crosswind. We've only got, it would only be a 30 knot crosswind if it was coming in at an absolute crosswind, so 90-degree angle. And the maximum demonstrator crosswind for the A320 was 38 knots anyway. So yeah, you could do it even then. It's just fun. It's it's what pilots enjoy. Otherwise, the landings get boring after a while. Rockstar, hi, I might be getting a new PC. Do you think an i10,000 3060 is a good PC to run Microsoft Flight Sim? Mate, honestly, I am not the guy to ask. I mean, if you're asking me, those specs look wonderful. But join our Discord channel, guys. In our Discord server, there's some guys who know so much more than me, and they're so very, very helpful. They've helped me out whenever I've had issues. So yeah, absolutely, yeah. Join the Discord. Link in the video description, and well worth checking that out if you want more information, better information that I can give you. So we're just monitoring the climb at the moment. We're just passing flight level 230. Hello on Twitch. First time catching streaming. It's your day off. That worked quite nicely, didn't it? Good to see you. And am I finding any errors with the VNav? Actually, the last time we did it, it looked much better. Really good. I mean, the VNav for me, well, we're going to have a look at our arrival pretty soon. But the VNav for me is working better than when it first came out, and that it now targets the top of the magenta speed gates if you're low on the profile. It didn't do that previously, but I think the VNav in itself, in terms of where the top of descent is marked, is really good, but then you've just got to watch it like an absolute hawk. Do your own calculations and make sure that you're going to hit where you want. You are going to be where you want to be. So we'll see. So Ehab, you were just flying to Amsterdam and it wouldn't catch red for flight level 230. Well, did you check in the constraints that was actually there? Because if it wasn't there, it wouldn't catch it. There's a great saying when it comes to, well, I guess all computers, but certainly for things like VNav, if you put rubbish in, you get rubbish out. Hey, Razzling Music, how you doing, mate? It's been a while. Oh, the clouds are breaking up a little bit now, aren't they? Do you know what? I am going to... It's very early days, but I am just going to go and get a weather request. Both for Gatwick, Jersey, and maybe Bournemouth as well. Which I think is Echo Golf Hotel Hotel. Right, so let's see what's currently happening weather-wise. We have got, ignore the top one. Oh, look at that, that's really neat. Look at that, recent rain leaving Glasgow. That is exactly what we left it with. Okay, so Jersey. Oh, 220 at 22. Gusting 32. What's our landing runway? Is it 27? 26. 26. Oh yeah, so we're probably going to feel that a little bit. Visibility 6,000. It's raining. Scattered 700. Broken 1,000. Yeah, there's nothing there that should stop us getting in. Apart from some poor piloting. I mean, it's gusty weather. A gust at the wrong time can knock you off and destabilise your approach, in which case we're going around and trying again. So Rise you're doing well, thanks. Been busy lately and summer likely won't let up, but glad to see a stream in the morning here in the US. Yes, of course, good time for US... for the US audience, wanting something to do when they're working from home, perhaps. But yeah, it's good that everyone's slowly, sort of, the world starting to get back to normal a little bit, which is obviously very nice. Very nice. This has been a rubbish couple of years, hasn't it? Particularly anybody who's involved in the music industry. Where on earth is Echo Golf November Lima? That's not Newcastle, is it? No, that's November Tango. Where's Echo Golf November Lima? Lima, anybody? There's tower controller on. Wherever that happens to be. Migs, Bournemouth, good old Bournemouth. You grew up in that neck of the woods. I think we've only done one flight to Bournemouth. EasyJet have done them, just as they do Newquay. We need to do a Newquay run as well. Another nice little small airport. JJ Smallpiece, yeah, I remember you saying about that navigation problem. Only happened once. That's why it's always a good idea to keep an eye on what's in the top right hand corner. We're just about 7 miles away from Dean Cross at the moment. Barry, you had your first live concert yesterday since coronavirus. It was amazing. Absolutely. Edwin, hello. What do I think about the experimental version of the A32NX? Do you recommend it to any normal normal people? What's a normal person? That's what I'm flying. Yeah, that is what I'm flying. It's obviously less stable and there can be bugs and things might not work or things could go wrong, but I'll be honest, I've never had anything major happen. And the key is noticing if anything major happens, isn't it? 1903, you love it when you see Jersey come up on the streams. Fun airport to fly into. Give you a wave on the way down if landing on 26. We are landing runway 26. The winds are gusting, favouring runway 26. So it's Walnut Barrow in Furness Airport. I don't think I've ever seen that online, ever. So that's quite neat to see something new, isn't it? Nick, to answer your earlier question, no. Can you tell I've not yet updated SimConnect? I don't have time to do maintenance. Sam, I switched the cameras to wings like this. They are custom views. You can download these custom views, which then, once you have got them set up, it takes 30 seconds. It's just a file you drop into the right folder. There's a video on the channel showing you which folder to drop them into. Once you've got them, you can then use the Alt 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. keys on your keyboard, or you can assign them to a button on your controller. So, for instance, we've got loads of different views here. We can just work our way through the aircraft, have a quick look down there. We can also come back and have a look outside here, or we can have the nose view, which is quite nice. I like that view on a long flight. It's quite neat. I think there's another one as well, which I've not... Oh yes, there's that one there. We don't see that one often because I haven't got that one assigned to a button. Edit, funny thing, you actually flew EasyJet and the pilot sounded just like me. Promise it wasn't. Razvan, yesterday you had some weirdness on departure with the flight plan, you think, because you had to put the SID in manually, but you just hadn't fluidly sorted itself out. Fair enough. Dr. Magic, do you need to manually update SimConnect? Well, I didn't think so, but Nick says I should, so I probably should. I do like that view, actually. I think we need to see that view more often. Right, how are we doing? Oh, just hit a little turbulence bump there. As we can see, we just leveled off for a moment. Where's my hot tea? There it is. We call it hot tea now, and it's because of the kids. All tea is hot tea. Emphasis on the word hot. And we'll do a fuel check as well once we've got to the top of our climb. And then we'll have a look how we're going to get into Jersey. Yardi, hello! JJ Smallbeast, you work at Barrow 1 Airport, do you? Occasionally? Sounds good. That's not the airport that Eddie Stobart's just bought out, is it? Or have I dreamt that? I say just, I meant a few months, maybe years back. Oh no, that was Carlisle. No, that's Carlisle Airport. Uh, 24/7 Survival on Twitch. Do I think X-Plane 12 will look anywhere near as good as Microsoft Flight Simulator? No. I just can't see it topping this. Yardi, you're going away tomorrow, so this is adding to the excitement. I hope you're going somewhere warmer than Jersey. How do you set altitudes to certain waypoints? For tower and on your screen. I'm not quite sure what you mean by the last bit, but if you mean how do you set the constraints, you go into your flight plan page, and then depending on which waypoint you're after, you would use the right line side keys being that waypoint, and you can go in and enter constraints here for altitude and speed. Barry, can I fly the 777? No. If it's Boeing, I ain't going. Sam, will I switch to the Phoenix when it comes out or stay on the fly-by-wire? Do you know what? I will probably combine both. I mean, the Phoenix, the great thing about the Phoenix is you've got an extra edge to the flight because things can go wrong. Minor things, major things. So I know that I could just, if I wanted to do sort of a 4 or 5 hour flight offline, then I could set this going once I'm at cruise and autopilot's engaged. It's just going to continue. Nothing's going to go wrong in the slightest. Well, when you set the realisms or whatever settings they're going to have for the Phoenix, then you could be flying along and suddenly, boop, you get a little ECAM warning saying some electrical things failed. Minor things, of course, not major things. Major things are very rare, but minor things can happen, and it just means that it's something you might have to deal with, which is quite neat. Yardi, you're off to Gran Canaria. Oh yeah, good call. Adip, you're welcome. Eagle 223 will SimSmart support different planes later, like the 330, or is it just going to be for the 320? At the moment, it can only be for what we're able to test it against, as in real world performance. So at the moment, we've got no means of testing it against the 330. If anyone knows an A330 pilot with a lot of time on their hands, then maybe. Barrick, it all depends on where, what operational flight plan layout you're using as to where the cruise altitude would be. Rise, you really hope Phoenix has service-based failures where if I don't service the engines, they slowly become more likely to fail. I've no idea how they're going to implement that, Razelvan, but I'm sure something will come along. Danny Davidson on Twitch, thank you for the follow. There we go, Mac Alt Cruise. And we're now at our cruising level. Great stuff. I'm going to be cutting this really, really fine with the time that I have to leave. I might have to land and run for the school run. I need to be out of here. I need to be out of here in about an hour. An hour or give or take a minute or two. And our flight time was what, 1 hour 14? We've been 22 minutes into the flight. That's interesting. Right, we're now at the top of our cruise.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck, we'll be delighted to hear that we are now at our cruising altitude, and we hope to give you nice views throughout the flight as we have good weather ahead and should be experiencing any turbulence. Of course, this means that you will not spill any of your drinks that you may have from the cabin crew as they begin to start making their way around the aircraft. Could you please ensure that the aisles are kept clear so the cabin crew can offer you their cabin service, which will begin shortly. A reminder that EasyJet Single Pilot channel members are able to access free drinks throughout the duration of the flight. Thank you, and I invite you to sit back, relax, and enjoy the remainder of the flight.
So we'll do a fuel check in about 36 miles or so. Colin, when the Phoenix comes out with all the will they come out with checklists to help with the failures? I have no idea what documentation it's going to come out with. I'm afraid. Paulcaster, how old do I sound? It's not a huge secret. I'm not secretive about my age. Ian, Simrace World, hey mate. The experimental version of the A32NX mod and all other mods are available to see in a video on the channel, the mods that I use all the time. Michael, will I be making a video or streaming with the Headwind A330 that's just been released? I like the A330 probably because it's very similar to the 320 in how it operates. So I have a bit of a basis for how and what to do with it. I just wish I got time to do a nice good long haul flight, you know, across the Atlantic, something like that. Not on cross the pond. Good lord, how does anyone find that fun? You see the images of how much traffic is coming in. If I even heard that one of the poor controllers at Gatwick just had enough because there were traffic, just not, they were just stepping on each other rather than having a bit of radio courtesy. And you can't operate when it's like that. Oh, Paulcaster. Creep. Hard to tell my age from my voice. Oh, I'm quite happy with that. Migs, I'm living life on the edge. Yeah, I get to the stairs, roll out to the runway just as soon as we land at Jersey. God, we'd better be... we better get in first time, hadn't we? Let's have a look at this arrival. Dr. Magic, ever thought about going back to the CRJ? Oh. Not really, and it's because I like to be able to do things properly, and I kind of get frustrated with myself if I can't, which is it's my own failing. So the whole point of this channel was to be, you know, to try and bring simulation as close to the real world as possible, and I have no knowledge of the CRJ. And it operates very different from what I'm used to, so what's going on here? Okay, that's weird. Let's do a quick direct, shall we? Like I've got time to be wasting bouncing around left and right. Just fly in a straight line. Zed, you're now curious how old am I? Less than 40. If that surprises you, wonderful. Right then, so let's think. Oh, that's a nice view. Let's think about this arrival. So the arrival brings us in on the. Are we on the Big No 1 Juliet arrival today? Let's see. Yeah, so we're on the. It's going to be runway 26, the Big No 1 Juliet, which brings us in to Jersey here. Now, the full procedure here would then be to basically fly over Jersey, make a little loop, come in and establish on the ILS. But if we can save a bit of time by going straight in and capturing it, that's fine. But I don't want to capture it at the Jersey VOR because, well, that gives me what, 4.5. That'll give me 5.5 mile final. I don't want to be doing that in those gusts of winds. So I want to do it a little bit further out, actually, so I might use some, I might create a waypoint and we'll go place bearing distance for that. Transition altitude is going to be 5,000 feet. What's the platform altitude? 2,000 feet. That's at Jersey. So always worth noting. Minimum safe altitude, yeah, it's not going to be very high, is it? Sat in the middle of the Atlantic, or the Channel. So that's going to be 1,900 feet, and it did say it's going to be Cat 1 minimums, so runway visual range is above 550 metres, 427. Correction, 472 is going to be our minimums. We'll pop those in a bit. ILS frequency is 1103. Airfield elevation is 272, and missed approach is straight ahead and a left turn once we've reached 3,000 feet. Max speed 210 knots. So that's worth bringing into our brief as well when we do it. There we go. Ryan Videos, you did cross the pond. It was so much fun to do using CBDLC to communicate with air traffic control. Yeah, I can imagine that is a godsend as well. Good guess, JJ. Those bleeps, Chinarox, are not model matching issues. It's my SimConnect issue. I need to I need to update it basically. Right. I also need to do a fuel check. How much extra fuel did we take? We should have 1.2 tons extra than the CNR. So at Kano, I should have around 3.2 tons. No, correction, 4.2 tons, and I've got 4.3. Excellent. J-Hog, good afternoon. Naples was an interesting landing. No ILS. Flew it in by hand. Naples has got an ILS. I'm 99% certain Naples has got an ILS. Or maybe, did you come in over the sea? That one might not. I'd have to check. Right, let's work out how we're going to do this arrival then. Yeah, so as you can see, it wants us to fly in over the Jersey VOR, which is just here, and then it would have us come round and line back up. Well, instead, I'm going to come out. I want to create a waypoint sort of over here, and we're going to use that. So let's put in, do you know what, let's clear this up. So I'm not going to do the full procedure. We're going to clear out, let me just come down here so you guys can see. We're going to clear out this waypoint just here. So that's now gone. So we're going to do, so Jersey's there, but I want a waypoint that is a little bit further away. So kind of over here. So we're going to go from, have a look. So yeah, it's after Big No. We're going to aim for, let's aim for sort of a, let's go with 11 miles. So let me pop in the place, which is Jersey, Juliet Sierra Yankee, bearing, which would be the reciprocal of 263, so that's 083, and what did I say Jersey was? Jersey is 3, 4.5, 5.5 miles. Right, well in that case 10 miles from there, and that is going to go in just there. Oh, it's not put it in. I put it in there at the top of descent. I should have put it in here where it said Jersey. Let me type that in again. So, Juliet Sierra Yankee. What was that bearing? It was 083. So that should be over here then somewhere. Basically, we're going to put a waypoint here to come in down, intercept it there, and then come in. So we're not doing the full procedure, and we've got shorter, we've got longer than a 5-mile final. So Jersey's how many miles away? For 4.5, 5.5. Yeah, I'll tell you what, call that, oops, call that 6 miles. Pop that in there. There we go. So, place bearing distance. Let's have a quick look what we've got now. Oh, there you go. That's what I wanted. Just gives us a little bit more time. So Jersey, we want to be 2,000 feet when we get to Jersey. Let's put a constraint in there. So 2,000 feet at Jersey. That's our platform altitude. At that point as well, I want to be 180 knots. So that's in. And if we go back to that place bearing distance, that all looks good. So that place bearing distance is 5 miles away, which means we could probably put 3,000 feet in there as well. So let's chuck 3,000 feet in there. Done. And just to help control the speed, a couple of 100 knots would be fine at that point. Scroll through, see how those constraints are looking. Fine. Not quite sure why we've got an amber asterisk next to 1270 when we've hard-coded that should be at 2,000 feet, but anyway. In terms of how that looks now on here, there's a strange thing going on there as well. This is what you've got to look out for when flying the experimental version. Just little little quirks. But yeah, that looks much better. That looks nice and doable now. Although, just noticed something. The centre fix and the final fix after Jersey. That can't be right. Where's Jersey on that screen? There's the VOR, so I'm not quite sure why the centre fix is... yeah. Oh, so again, this is where you've just got to be... you've got to have a look and sort of interrogate what you can see. Because it would have us, if you left it in nav mode... We're not going to do this, of course, because by this point we're going to be in approach mode. But if you left it in nav mode, it would fly to the Jersey. It would then fly to these fixes. So I'll tell you what we're going to do. I'm actually just going to clear out Jersey, and it'll tidy up the flight plan. So bingo, place bearing distance then 0, 1, which is here. It should then fly to the centre fix. No idea. Well, no, I do know what all this is about. It's because we're basically too fast for it to work it out at the minute. So then it'll just fly straight down the ILS. Okay. And there's something daft going on here as well in a moment. So if we just now go direct to Perop, hang on, pull the heading because it's going to turn me around. Okay, now we're going to go direct to Urnok. This is cutting time out, isn't it? According to this, I should land at 1408, which would be good. There we go. Hey, William, you're on ground control for us. Excellent. Mate, I'm going to be coming in hot because I got the school run, so can we have a pre-approved high-speed taxi? And I want the closest stand available. So, where is our top of descent then? Have we got one marked? There it is. Now, remembering, of course, I want to be 3,000 feet at that place bearing distance, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and place bearing distance 0, 1. We're going to pop in to the progress page. Place bearing distance 0, 1, and now I can monitor my profile as we go down. Great stuff. Okay, let's brief the approach then. So whilst I do that, I'm just going to quickly get a latest weather. So, quick weather request, send that off. Okay then guys, so here is the plan. We're going to come in via Big No. From Big No, we're going to that place bearing distance which we've created over here somewhere by there. I want to be 3,000 feet. I want to be green dot, flaps 1 as we come in there. And then green dot, flaps 1 as we leave that place bearing distance, establishing on the ILS flaps 2 by 2,000 feet, which is where the Jersey VOR will be. I know we've got rid of that, but that doesn't matter. That's okay. And yeah, then we'll 180 knots and come in for a nice, hopefully nice landing with some crosswind. Now let's just take into account what we're doing once we've landed. Nice short runway, so let's go ahead and pop auto brake low on there for now. I would imagine we're going to roll to the end. Oh, potentially we could take Delta. Can we take Delta? Anything tells us we can't take Delta. Let's have a quick check of the charts. If you can't see anything, then all should be good. Right, if we can take Delta, that would be very nice. Low vis, taxiway E is not available. Stop bars, arriving traffic 08, arriving traffic 026 will vacate the runway at the runway end via Bravo. Airport vacated after passing the yellow-green section of the centre line. Delta may be available on request. Well, I don't think they're in low vis at the moment, so we should be okay. Aviator, the VPAT's beeping so much because we've got SIM Connect problem at the moment. I need to update it, basically. That's the reason why. Yeah, if we can get off at Delta, that'd be nice, and straight into either the north or south side. Or I might just abandon it here if I'm going to be late picking the kid up from school. Let's just double check where I'd want to start descending then. So, let me see. Let me see. What are we at? We're at flight level 390. I need to lose 36,000 feet. That's about 108 miles. We've got to slow down as well, so add 10 to that, 120, so it should be about 120 miles away. And we're at 136 now, so this is interesting. This top of descent looks quite late, actually. What's our track mileage? 154. Okay, we'll keep an eye on that. Actually, that's not too bad, I don't think. Yeah, all this, I don't think this is, looking at it, I don't think the top percent factors any time for slowing down at the moment. So it might still be worth pulling that maybe a few miles early. Anyway, we need to go ahead and just get that weather report, enter it into the performance page. So wind now is 230.33. No, it isn't. It's 230.21. Gusting 33. Temperature 11. QNH is 1003. So that's dropped 3 hectopascals since we departed. I'm sure I saw that saying standard earlier. Anyway, we've now got that set. Mark, you've been killing fairies on your descent. Just pull open descent and wind the speed up. It's kinder on the fairies. Right, let's go ahead and input this information then, shall we?
In just a few moments, we'll commence our in-flight service, offering you the chance to purchase a selection of hot beverages, together with drinks and snacks from the bar. We accept payment in pounds, euros, most major currencies, and debit or credit cards. The correct change would be greatly appreciated, and if we can be of any further assistance, then just ask us as we join you in the cabin shortly.
That is quite blustery, isn't it? Transition altitude is 5,000 feet. So, given the wind and the gusts, there is the option of doing a flaps 3 landing. So we could do that if we wanted. Green dot is 207, max speed on the go around is 210, so green dot's fine. Now, because there's a chance, or a higher chance of the go around, let's just go in and put the thrust reduction acceleration values in here. Airfield elevation is 272, so 1272, 1272, and 1272. Oh, try that again. Oh, correction. If we're doing the go around, we're doing it in flaps 1. Yeah, flaps 1, 190. And we'll do a config 3 landing. So VAP is 141. That should help us overcome the winds. Flap 3 landing on. Okay, so I am now going to have a look. How far away are we? 107. Okay, you know what? I am going to start that descent, and we're going all the way down to. We're going to, if we can do a nice CDA, we're going to get all the way down to 3,000 feet. So let's pop that into managed. Let's pull. Sorry, let's push for local pressure, which is going to be 1003. So. We've got Mach, descent, down we go. Should go around 1,000 feet per minute.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck once again, you will be delighted to hear that we will shortly be starting our descent into our destination, at which point the cabin crew will start preparing for our arrival. If you could please make sure that all the aisles are clear and the cabin crew are able to make their way around the aircraft without any luggage in the aisles, that would be most appreciated. A reminder for our EasyJet pilot members that free drinks are still available from the cabin crew until the seatbelt signs are turned on. Please note, however, that the toilets will shortly go out of use. Thank you.
Right, so down we go. Aviator, remember to put it on standard again. Put what on standard, my friend? We're now descending down to an altitude of 3,000 feet. There's the Great British Coastline. William, it's no longer gusting at Jersey. Really? Does that mean it's just constantly windy? It's no longer considered a gust, it's just bloody windy. Helm says 80s and ground available for Jersey at the moment. Yes, I know. William, who's in the chat, just above you there, he's the ground controller. Aviator More, we wouldn't set the QNH back to standard. We're headed down. We're going down to an altitude, my friend, so we're not descending to a flight level. If we were descending to a flight level, we'd leave it at standard. You can usually tell how windy it is as well when you get down a little bit lower. Then you'll be able to see the sea and see how choppy it is. So William says, must be. The Metro is now 230 degrees at 24 knots. Well, we can go ahead and edit that then, because let's go ahead and pop that in. So it's 230 at 24, which has increased our VAP by 1. So yeah, I think this was actually a little bit sensible to start descending sooner rather than later. So I'm now just keeping an eye on this. How far we got to go? We've got 80 miles or so to go. What's our... we've got 90 miles track mileage to go. We are high. VNAV's not worked yet. Okay, I'm going to go open, and we're going to yeah, leave that in open descent. Start to descend far quicker. Otherwise, that nice shorter approach that I was talking about, we're not going to be able to do it. If anything does go wrong with regards to the approach, I can extend the downwind. So I've just pulled speed and we've set 285. So if you are on the experimental version and you are tinkering around with VNav, that's why it's always worthwhile making sure that you're happy with your own calculations. Because I can tell we were going to be far too high, and I would imagine it's probably because it's got this little loop thrown in there, which we're not flying. So that's why we can see actually the level off has just appeared round about where I wanted it to. So we're going to keep this rate of descent up for the moment. Was any pop-out displays? Oh, sorry, you're trying to help someone. I see. Yeah, popping out the display really does mess up with your frame rates, doesn't it? Now, that ground frequency for Jersey, as it's online, we'll chat to William soon, and that's 1219er. Let's go ahead and pop that in. I'm still high, so time to wind that speed up a little bit more. Captain S, you have an issue with the flickering mouse cursor in the cockpit. Any ideas? Flickering? No, afraid not. Not quite sure what could be causing that. That level off arrow seems to be coming closer to me now, which is exactly what I want. Bear in mind we still need to slow down, so you don't want to set that exactly where you want to be at 3,000 feet. So we are 55 miles away from our custom waypoint. Remember, at the custom waypoint we want to be at 3,000 feet. So for anyone who's just joining us, here's our arrival plan. We are leaving Big No. We're coming to a custom waypoint we've created over here at 3,000 feet. We're then going to be at green dot by that point. As we leave there at 3,000 feet, we're going to pull flaps 1, and that will then get us established nicely on the ILS, descending down to 2,000 feet, flaps 2 by 2,000 feet as we intercept the glide slope, speed 180 knots, and then manage speed for the final approach. We're doing a flaps 3 approach because of the strong wind as well, and we're going to either, once we've landed, if we can, we'll get off at Delta. If not, we'll roll all the way to the end and taxi our way back in. Ed Goldberg, thank you so much for your $4.99 super chat. Thank you, Ed. Hope you're having a good morning.
Sorry, I didn't understand.
Oh, my Google Homes just woke up. Did I say something that sounded like hi Google? She must be talking to you, Ed. Very kind of you, Ed. Thank you so much for your kind super chat just there. Really do appreciate that. Alberto, if you do a quick a quick search in the YouTube search, then you'll be able to just type in EasyJet Sim Pilot graphic settings. You'll find it, my friend. Wish I could just turn the brightness up a little bit more. We've just put the anti-ice on now as we're starting to head through the clouds, and as I can see that we're still within the region of which ice can form on the wings. Jonathan, is there a way to get managed speed not to go down automatically whilst on the approach? Yes, pull the speed bug so you're in selected speed rather than managed speed. So I will stay in selected speed until we're probably around 7-8 miles away. And Needle of the Skies, welcome so much to the welcome to the First Officers Club. Needle, very, very kind of you to support the channel. If you're on Discord as well, make sure you get in that members lounge. Really good to have you on board, Needle. And Boarding Time, thank you so much for your kind super chat as well, who says thank you for everything you have done for us. You are more than welcome, Boarding Time. It's great fun. Having you guys on board is what makes it so worthwhile. So thank you so much for that, both to Boarding Time and Needle of the Skies. Really, really kind. Thank you so much for your support. We're still high, you know. Time to kill some fairies. Oh, good lord, what kind of weather are we getting ourselves into here? Okay, seatbelt signs are on. Let's run the approach checklist. So our arrival brief is confirmed. Seatbelt signs are on. Minimums are 472. Set engine mode selector is normal. EFB is stowed.
If you can please return to your seat and ensure that your seatbelt is securely fastened. If you are traveling with an infant, please ensure that they are secured safely using the infant seatbelt harness provided. Please contact a member of the cabin crew if you require assistance. Thank you.
Hey Jonathan, we are on the experimental version. Aviation Bill, thank you for subscribing. Adam as well, thank you for your subscribing as well. And Enya, also big thank you to you. Going to activate the approach phase as well. So we've now activated the approach phase, but we're still in selected speed. Yeah, so if it doesn't look like I'm going to get down, what I can do is I can just break off, go left a little bit here, extend the downwind, then come back in and around, and all should be well. And if you guys remind me, we can also have a replay. Depending on time. God, look at this weather though. Goodness me, look at that. Wow. Well, it looks like beautiful weather over Jersey, doesn't it? Geez, this is where a weather radar's needed. And now as we go through that cloud, our screens become fluorescent. Panseer took it down, you missed the Glasgow takeoff. It was a great takeoff as well, actually. It was really neat. Right, what we got? Track miles to go. We've got about 23 track miles to go. Oh, do you know, we might be okay. I still need to slow down though. That's my issue. We're going to keep an eye on the winds as well. Raslin, you've just seen another 737-800 made a dive for the ground. Oh, in real life. Luckily this one didn't crash, but had to return to the departure airport. Oh, do you know, so many scary things happening. I don't know what's happening with Boeing aircraft at the minute. specifically the 737s. I mean, I'm presuming that's unconfirmed, Raslan, but I guess it could have been anything. Might not have been technical. Scary nonetheless, though, of course. Okay, so I need to start getting down to green dot. So what we're going to do is I'm going to push that into manage mode. I'm going to pull heading, and we're just going to come a left here. Just extend our downwind a little bit, because as you can see at the moment we're just losing our speed. There we go. We can see the glide slopes coming in now. Once we're happy with that, we can come back and get ourselves established. No traffic on the TCAS, so I think we're okay. So we're now at green dot. We're currently 11 miles away. Start configuring. So we're now below the glide. Platform altitude is 2000. I'm going to pull 2000 there. Let's set a steady descent rate now, about 900 feet per minute. It'll keep us nicely beneath it. Start configuring. Flaps 1, speed checked. God, that's bright. Flaps 1. Okay. Let's come in for... come round on the base. Jersey traffic, easy 71 Victor Lima on right traffic, base leg, runway 26 at 14 miles. Reduce that VS rate some more actually. Okay, so we've got lock star, altitude, glide slope blue, Cat 3 dual, autopilot 1 and 2.
Cabin crew, about 15 minutes till landing if you prepare the cabin, thank you.
So at what point should we pop out of the clouds? It did get down as low as 800, didn't it? Just turn the brightness down on that. So we'll do our best not to level off if we can. We probably are though. I mean, 2,000 feet is that's localized established. 2,000 feet is around 6 miles to run. So happy to keep that at S speed for the moment, and then we'll reduce that slightly soon.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will shortly be landing. Please ensure your cabin bag is safely stowed with your laptop inside. Your tray table must be stowed.
William, thanks for the latest QNH update 1002.
You now need to be
Radar
seated
altimeter is
with your
alive.
seatbelt fastened, ready for landing. Please help us by handing in any rubbish, newspapers or magazines that you do not want to take with you. The toilets are no longer in service.
Jersey traffic, easy 71 Victor Lima, established runway 269 miles. Okay, let's switch over to the ground frequency now. Now remember, we've got flaps 3 for the landing, and I expect to see that wind. At the moment it's actually coming from the right ever so slightly. I expect that wind to come right around here and then be blowing from over here. There's the glide slope, so let's pull 180 knots and set flaps 2, speed checked, flaps 2. Can't wait to see what this looks like from a passenger point of view when we hopefully get down safely. Okay, 6 miles, glide slope captured, missed approach altitude set. Let's start getting configured. Landing gear, spoilers.
Just ground, good afternoon. Fox India Echo Uniform Lima, a De Havilland Twin Otter at stand number 5. I would like to request clearance IFR to Gatwick.
Fox India Echo Uniform Lima, correction, Jersey ground.
Okay,
Good afternoon.
approach
Your
checklist.
Gatwick on the Ortiz
Correction, landing
Charlie
checklist.
market.
Cabin is secured, auto thrust speed, go around altitude 3000 set. Ecam memo, landing, no blue.
Clear to Gatwick via Ortiz 1 Charlie departure, and I'm squawking 1211 Fox India Echo.
Really expecting that wind to flip around,
Fox India
so
Echo
this could be
Uniform,
interesting
correct.
as we come in.
1,000.
1,000 feet to go. Did say that the cloud base was about 800 at one point, didn't it? So that seems to be quite accurate. Can't recall as I've ever landed in this direction before. Okay, I'm happy with the visual runway contact. Let's take off the autopilot. So as I've done that, I can feel it is a little bit bumpy, so let's try and maintain that centre line. Keep watching that wind. You can see it's just now starting to spin round to come in from the left. God, I love the weather in Microsoft Flight Simulator.
500.
Continue. Oh, little bump there.
100 above.
How unstable did that feel?
400.
It's not flying on rails, this. We're having to fight.
Minimum
Continue.
200.
This is actually quite tough. No butter. Let's get it down.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10, 5.
There we go. So, spoilers deployed. Reverse green. And we've got the decel. Disconnect the brakes. Down we go. Bit of a firm landing, but didn't really expect much else there.
Ladies and gentlemen, the cabin crew will shortly be leaving their seats to perform safety-related duties. However, we ask that you remain seated until the fasten seatbelt sign has been switched off. Portable electronic devices for messaging, calls or internet access may now be used. Please make sure that you take all your personal belongings with you, checking in the seat pocket, underneath the seat and in the overhead lockers. Do take care when opening the lockers in case anything falls out. Smoking is not permitted until you reach a designated smoking area. On behalf of the captain and the crew, it has been our pleasure looking after you today. Our ground crew will help you complete your EasyJet journey. For the latest news, promotions, flight and destination information, check out our official Facebook page, Twitter or EasyJet app.
Oh, what do we think, guys? That looked like fun, didn't it? That was actually quite tough, even if I do say so myself. It was, there were times where you just felt the sort of the bottom drop from the aircraft. It felt like you just lost a little bit of lift as the presumably as the wind stopped gusting, I guess. But yeah, that was fun. Let me get onto ground frequency. We are on ground frequency. Jersey ground, easy 71 Victor Lima, runway 26 vacated.
Easy 71 Victor Lima, Jersey ground. Good afternoon, welcome to Jersey. Taxi standard choice via Bravo and high speed is approved.
Standard choice via Bravo and high speed is approved. Thanks very much. Easy 71 Victor Lima.
No worries.
He knows we're on the school run. Right, let's get in. We're okay. We are going to have time for a replay. So stick around for the replay. I'm looking forward to that. So we'll spin around here to the right and take stand 7. And this is a great freeware scenery pack as well for Jersey. Really nice. Again, from FlightSim.to, sorry. So we'll get it parked up, we'll get off VATSIM, and then we shall see what that replay looked like. That's not the best parking job in the world, is it? But we're rushing ever so slightly. Okay, I'm going to leave the parking brakes off for the moment. We'll leave everything running as is. Now let's go. Come off VATSIM. Thank you very much, VATSIM. And let's just disconnect there. Well, yeah, just me today, I believe. I'm not entirely sure. Right, we're just going to disconnect off VATSIM now. Thank you so much. Now let me see if I can get this replay thing to work. So let's stop and play. Now, can we zoom this forward? And if we can now just go a little further forward, there we go. We'll play that from there, and new camera track so that we can. Well, that's interesting. Oh, that's new. Huh. Interesting camera track. It still thinks my aircraft is here. Right, hang on then. Let me see if I can get to the drone. And I wanted to see the passenger view. That's annoying. There we are, look. Well, hang on. Maybe with a bit of luck, I can just quickly get to the threshold and see what that looks like as we come in. There it is. Yeah, that's new. Normally you can get a nice passenger view, so that's quite frustrating that that's happened. I'll have another go in a minute, but let's just see what the what it looked like from a landing perspective. So Sam, yeah, this is the built-in replay. It used to work. You used to just be able to select your views, but it still thinks my aircraft's at the gate, which quite clearly it's not. Oh, actually, that didn't look too bad at all, did it? That. We'll take that for a windy Jersey day. Fair play. Yeah, it thinks my aircraft is still there. So Doctor on board says the camera replay bug has been there since Sim Update 8. Is that right? Oh, it's just really annoying, isn't it? That we don't, that we now don't have that. So, yeah. if I carried on watching, you'd be able to see the you'd be able to see my wonderful parking job. Well, how annoying. Well, I've still got the school run to go and do, so at least you guys got to see some sort of a replay. Sorry, it wasn't the one we were hoping to see, because I don't know if I can even get back into the. I don't even know if I can get back into the flight deck now, which is frustrating. So, can we get back into the flight deck? No, because it thinks that is the flight deck, of course, just there. So, Nicholas, yes, this is an inbuilt replay. It's just, well, since Sim Update 8, apparently not very good, as we can see. Oh well then, guys, never mind. Apologies for the replay, but at least you got to see the landing from a passenger perspective. Where are we? Somewhere over here, presumably. There we are. Very good. Yeah. Well done, Microsoft Flight Simulator, though, for the weather. That was absolutely spot on. Seeing that wind shift just as we were coming in on landing, that was really nice. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me on today's flight. To those of you who have donated and contributed to the channel's upkeep during the stream today, thank you so much. Really, really do appreciate that, as it does allow me to spend a little bit extra time going and preparing these live streams for you. If you haven't yet got your copy of SimSmart Takeoff performance calculator, this is now released and available. That's available from simsmart.uk. You can check out the link in the video description down at the bottom. To the EasyJet Sim Pilot channel members, thank you so much for your continued support. I look forward to chatting with you all on the Discord server in due course. Thanks very much, everyone. I'm off to go and make sure I'm not late for the school run. Have a great Wednesday, everyone. Bye bye.